I just love this jazzy main menu music. Listen to that. It sounds so like, man, this is a serious and dramatic situation, but it can come to a happy conclusion is what it feels like. Wait. Classic? Oh. It's just original Ms. Pac-Man. Yeah. This is original Ms. Pac-Man. We've, come a long way since then, haven't we? It's a lot more difficult than the original Pac-Man. I never, was a big fan of these kinds of games, though. Kinds of games where there's no ending. Or really even any sense of... Well, I don't know, maybe they're more game-like for that. But how do we get out of here? And we start out by returning to Cleopatra, to this area called Sandwich. And from now on, there's not going to be any level that we can't complete 100% in one go, as long as we're careful and circumspect. It's interesting that we're coming out of this circle. It's like the same portal that we left Cleopatra through. You can see they really are more insistent about getting all the pack dots here than we were before, back in the earlier levels. And the scorpions are a nice touch. You see here are a few ghosts of the same color in the same area, so clearly they're not intended to be the individual members of the ghost gang. They're just ghosts of these colors. Although it is interesting to note that the only ghosts we encounter in the game that are not the colors of the Ghost Gang Central Inky, Pinky, Blinky, and Clyde ghosts are the ones in the bobsled racing level, which are that teal-blue color. I just love this scenery. Look at the greenery down there. That's such a nice touch. Another one of these deadly tornado razor blade guys. He's really riding my tail. But not so much anymore. Makes you wonder, who put all these black and yellow tape here, though. I mean, thank goodness they did. It clearly makes the area safer. You see, what's going on here? It almost looks like they're in the middle of constructing these structures, but that couldn't be. Well, I guess it's just because look how, sun-baked and worn they look. Surely if these were being built, they would look fresh and new. Still, though, I think this is such good art direction. They're really making a lot out of just having these sort of blocky shapes for the bricks, and yet it looks so good. It looks great. Of course, maybe the reason that they're these colors are not because they're sun-dried and worn out. It could just be because they're Uh-oh. Don't worry, it'll come here in a sec. It could just be because they're under construction, so they haven't painted them yet. In fact, that makes sense. That's what's going on. Unless, well, I don't know. This place could plausibly be not inhabited anymore, and the ghosts have just sort of come in, unlike Pac-Man. Whoa. Crazy visual glitches. It's such a tragedy, too, because it would look so good if it weren't for these stupid lines. Oh, well. Here we have some maze design features that are certainly absent in the original Ms. Pac-Man, or Pac-Man for that matter. Like, corners of the maze, they're just dead ends that aren't connected to anything else. But we have those here. I tell you what, that waka waka noise really takes me back. Hey, hey. Yeah, it's pretty cool. You see, that one was definitely like a masculine voice. Like, surely that wasn't supposed to be Ms. Pac-Man saying cool, to, you know, sort of patting herself on the back for her victory. And I understand maybe it's a bit conceited to some people would say, oh, yeah, patting herself on her back for her victory. Why would she do that? But you know, let me tell you something. Positive self-talk, that goes a long way. You should try it sometime. Now me, Mackerel Phones. Old Mackerel Phones does not do much positive self-talk. But it's good for you. You should do it. Okay, so I need to get a blue key. You may have also noticed that they're introducing even more new things in these levels. Like these panels that come out sort of like bellows. That's what happens if you walk in the opposite direction through these. I guess they're like brushes. Unfortunately, though, that didn't get us anywhere. But maybe this will. You see, this one is just 3, 2, 1, as it should be. As all the best TNT is. I'm not quite sure what to call them. I like the sound effect they make, but I guess they are like sort of like billows, aren't they? What's that noise? Must be another one of those fire-breathing sphinx. Sphinx is. Oh, Inky is getting pretty far afield. I don't mind. Anyway, it's probably not Inky anyways, as I was saying earlier. Oh, he's coming back. He's coming back, ladies and gentlemen. But don't worry, we'll deal with him in just a moment. As soon as we, got the peach. Are we collecting the fruit, or are we eating them? I figure we're collecting them. Perhaps that also developed from the tradition of the Pacs raiding food from the ghosts. They'd also take fruit and bring back the delicious fruity harvest to the village. Yeah, it was fire. Well, these are some pretty big sphinxes, though. I wonder if they're gonna ask me any riddles. Look at this. It looks so good. Look at the huge shadow of the Sphinx cast over the grains of desert sand. Sand that's been made hot and dry, yellow and warm from the, from being in the sun for so many years. Years of sun will do that to you. It does kind of bother me the way that these ghosts' behavior is different from that of the ghosts from the original arcade games, or at least I'm pretty sure it is. Now there, of course, we had to act quickly, or we might not have been able to get to the mummy in time. Or we had to be sure that we were not cut off from the power pellet due to the mummy's position. And here the Gibdo is just about to pass by that power pellet, so let's end him. Too cruel? I don't think so. I sure hope that I didn't miss something down there. I don't think I did, though. I wonder how the ancient Cleopatrans were able to construct these fire-breathing sphinxes. Perhaps they were... I don't know. I don't know how they could have constructed them. Or also, I hate this part. This is the worst part of the whole game. This is just a terrible part. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's quite the worst part, actually. It's like this game shines, like, so it does so many things well. There are just a few times it gets a bit off. In my previous playthrough I did of this took me so many tries, and I was like going crazy by the end of it. It's really rather comical. I'm sure that it would go on to be a super lull video if only I would have uploaded it. And maybe I will. I don't think the footage was looked too bad for this particular part. Ooh. You see, the issue here is that I gotta get that block of TNT over to this block right here to get to the apple. I pretty much have one try, and it's sort of dependent on Ms. Pac-Man being able to push the block of TNT from this square right here, and then to keep pushing it forward and then not get dragged away by the conveyor belt herself. That's pretty much what it's dependent on. And when you do get it to work, You're cutting it so close that it almost feels like it's an exploit rather than how they meant for you to solve the puzzle. If it can even be called a puzzle. You see, that's what's so annoying. It's less like, let me figure out how to solve this puzzle, and more like, let me actually try and do this time-dependent task that will solve it. For the most part, I think this game's, pushing blocks around, pushing TNT kind of design works really well. But not quite everywhere, does it? Not quite everywhere. Well, you see, I already took too long. She becomes more difficult to control once you're on the conveyor belt. It's difficult to describe, but she sort of, like, she wants to follow the conveyor belt rather than go in the direction you're directing her to. And here, I'm doing the same thing as I've done before, I'm not going to make it. This is going to be very boring and to watch my commentary-less playthrough, isn't it? Ah, well. You just skip through it. Skip through to when I get to the success. Maybe you already have. Maybe you're doing that on this video, too. In any case, I did get success. It took so many more tries last time, though. Okay, so now we need to use the TNT block for something a little bit different. Something a little bit different. But a whole lot easier, though. See? No! In any case, though, you saw how easily she was able to continue pushing it along, like, the track we wanted to push it along, so why can't I do that, elsewhere? I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get a lot of things, though. Okay. Achoo! Like, did you see how well we were able to do it there? Why couldn't we have just done that on the other side? I guess they just want the apple to be very hard to get. Wait a minute, we're missing a fruit. We're missing a fruit. Where's the fruit we're missing? I don't care if I'm going to take damage. Oh, there it is. See, that was very close. Very close indeed. But let no one say that I was going to miss that fruit. I mean, I was going to. It's not really even a fruit, but for our purposes, it's a fruit. The cultural category into which it falls is fruit, if not the scientific category. And you see, it's another one of these times where they show you just, how different the outcome can be when you hop onto one of these spring pads. I apologize that I forget what Professor Pac-Man calls them. But he clearly has been here before us if he's able to install all of these here. Just another sign of how skeptical I am, we should be of his claims. He would agree with our skepticism, after all. He's a scientist, he's an academic scientist. Oh, wait a minute, we don't have the power pellet anymore. Oh boy, this is gonna be real fun. Go, 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 go! If that thing kills us, if that Anubis kills us, we're gonna have to get the apple again. And no way am I doing that. Hey guys, hey Anubis, you have a very gross body. If I haven't mentioned it, there was also a Game Boy Advance version of this game. I would not recommend that one. It is definitely the worst version. It, of course, has some graphical and musical downgrades because it's on the Game Boy Advance, although it does look very good still. They did a very good job of getting the graphics on Game Boy Advance, really. A very good job with it. But, they took out a bunch of levels and a really significant portion of the soundtrack. And if I recall, they even took out the boss level, making the cover art nonsense. And taking out the climax, the cutscenes are rendered, like, nonsensical, like, incomprehensible, just random. It's all around the worst version, and you shouldn't play that version, unless you want to be impressed with the graphics they achieved on Game Boy Advance. But, like, if you're interested in this game, all the versions you should probably play the Dreamcast version, if you have a Dreamcast and everything else. But You should definitely avoid the Game Boy Advance version. In terms of content, the number 1 is Dreamcast, number 2 is PS1, number 3 is N64, and by far, like, vastly worse than all of the other ones is the version of it on Game Boy Advance. So as I said, they did do a good job with the graphics. It makes sense that there's all this mud here, because we're very near the river, and as we can see by the mud around these stone structures we're walking on, we're in some kind of floodplain, and so it floods over these structures and has left these deposits of sediment. I'm sure it'd be very good for... I'm sure it would be very good for growing crops. Presumably that's what drew the Cleopatrans to this area in ancient times. Now, this is what I call a tough puzzle. That was one difficult to find pair. I mean, that took a lot of thought to figure out the solution to that puzzle, is all I can say. Or not. You know, it could also be that. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Beautiful. Thank you, Professor Pac. Now, whatever else there is to say about you that's a little suspicious, there's no doubt that you really don't want to... that you really want to beat Mesmerelda. I love the crocodiles, it's such a nice touch. And so, Professor Pac, I am assuming that these stars, which help me beat Mesmerelda, you really can only give to me for some reason once I get all these Pac Dots or all these fruits. Maybe it has something to do with Mesmerelda's magic, or maybe somehow getting this many Pac Dots all together in one place ends up causes a surge of energy that lets you momentarily send it to me. Maybe that's what the Pactrometer is for. In fact, now I think about it, the Pactrometer does measure how many stars we have. Surely then, surely! The Pactrometer's purpose is really gathering these stars. It's like we're in Super Mario 64. I also like all the lights that are flashing around as Pac-Man on these end-level screens. It makes it feel like, you know, we're surrounded by an adoring audience snapping photos of us. Now, each one of these levels after Goblin you can only get to, actually, if you have enough stars. We happen to have enough stars so far, so we're getting through the barriers that Mesmerelda has put up. By the way, boulder over is kind of a stretch. I think a pun is a bit of a stretch. My relationship with that pun is a bit rocky. I'm sorry, that pun wasn't very nice. Don't get too salty about all of these rock jokes, but I think they rock. Oh, I love seeing her twirl around like that. So full of energy. You gotta be to go on an adventure like this. Look at all the running she's doing. I mean, look, and she's doing it in high heels. I mean, that's really, that's pretty intense. These shoes weren't made for running, but that's just what they'll do anyway. You might notice that every area has had 2 music tracks to go along with it. Every area, that is, except for Cleopatra. And there's a reason for that. And there's a reason for that. You see, that's one of the tracks that's missing in the PS1 version. Is the second track for Cleopatra, which is much moodier one. It's very jazzy. I really like it quite a lot, but, you know, you only get it in the Dreamcast version. What I think is much more, like, unforgivable is that they don't have the end credits music in the PS1 version. As you can see, the boulders don't hit us if we're at the end of the tracks here. The things we do to get a single Pac Dot. It's almost depressing, isn't it? In any case, though, perhaps I should warn you. We're intruding on Neanderpac country in these parts. How was I supposed to avoid it, huh? Come on. This is an area of immense geological instability. The ghosts might be fine with that, but I am not. They're not good for us pack people. But clearly, I mean, well, it's probably not the ghosts actually who were lighting these torches. It might have just been the Neanderpacks, who of course own this parcel of land, or cave land. She's got huge tracts of land. Okay. Which way first? Let's go up and get pack dots from this assemblage of them here. Oh, and there's a peach. If I remember in Pac-Man World, there wasn't quite the same get every fruit in every level. Rather, every level was just full of all kinds of fruits. Rather, every level was spell out Pac-Man every level. Yeah, I suppose in a similar fashion to like the Donkey Kong Country games. Dang visual glitches. Oh, it's a saber pack. Been a while. Neanderpack country, like I said. But we got a key down here. They've gotten to be very good with their fire. You'd have to be in this climate. But of course, I suppose that's what initially set the Neanderpacks apart from the other animals. All packs apart from other animals. Is that... Oh! Duh! So close! Is it the, you know, the fire? Figure out how to use fire. Although, of course, humans are not descended from Neanderthals. But, what the heck? Why is that there? There are no enemies here. Weird. Anyway, I mean, humans, of course, are not descended from, Neanderthals, but, what can I say? I guess the packs are descended from Neanderpacks, though. I'm pretty sure it said that in some instruction booklet. This is gonna be really a bit of a rush here. Yeah, we didn't make it. It's because of the stalactites that are falling that we didn't make it, of course. But you see, here you get the kind of challenge that actually begins to exist later on in the game, is the kind of stuff we're doing here. Of course, it's predicated less on skill, though, and more on how fast can you do it kind of deal. Which, I don't know, maybe that's not a good thing, but it's what it is. It's weird, because I don't remember ever having any difficulty in this part before. But obviously, I am now. So here's what we gotta do. We gotta do this. We gotta think about this. We gotta strategize here because these two Pac-foot are non-stop stomping. But you see, we pulled it off. It just took a little bit of brain work, a little bit of thinking work, and it worked. Plus, we got a key. I assume we need that key for some reason. And I expect that my view will be legitimated, will be substantiated. Ah, come on. Of course, well, we need the key for this door. It would have been more cinematic if I showed you the door first, so you could be like, ah, I see. That's the problem that Ms. Pac-Man has to overcome, is that door. But I didn't, now did I? Okay, I'm not... Come on. I give you so close to perfection, but not quite perfection. More brilliant scenery. Whoops. Indeed. I think that might be the first time I ever died of falling in this game. Like, in my entire life playing the game. Or maybe not. That's pretty extreme if that's true. I mean, I played this game so much when I was a kid. I never 100% completed it though. Which was, I mean, these days I never play a game to 100% completion. However, back then I did. I had that as a goal sometimes. The only games, though, I think that I really did 100% clear, other than like Kirby Nightmare and Dreamland, and yeah, other than Kirby Nightmare and Dreamland, were Pac-Man World 1 and World 2. And Pac-Man World 2? Oh, that was hard! In fact, both of those games were hard. I'm impressed that I managed to do that, honestly. Surprisingly enough, there are no monsters in this part. We gotta get the banana. What can we do to get the banana? First, though, we gotta get the pear. What do we gotta do to get the pear? I don't know. Let's find out. Probably that. Now we got a pear. Well, really, we just got one of them. Oh! Is that pushing it? Was I pushing my luck with that one? Nah. You guys know you love it. Oh, the other one doesn't reset? Kind of strange. Does it have a separate token? Yeah, it does. Okay, that explains it. Let's try that again, but this time to actually fulfill the goal that we're supposed to be trying to achieve in order to progress through the cave. After all, we gotta get out of here before we freeze to death. It is chilly here. Now, how is this gonna work? I see exactly how this is gonna work. I see it all now, down to a T. So to speak. That's a very weird phrase. Like, why is it down to a T? That doesn't make any sense. In any case, thank you, Professor Pac. I mean, you were really going crazy about how good it was we got the ghost key, or the witch's key. And I don't get me wrong, I understand why you're glad we got the witch key. That's like the first step towards undoing Mesmerelda. The first really major blow we've struck against her. Up to this point, we've really just been playing right into her hands. The subject of which, I think this must be the first time I ever encountered the whole villain tricks you and takes all of the stuff you've spent the whole game trying to get a story trick in a video game. Following, you know, the typical video game collection plot structure. I mean, it's a good plot structure for encouraging the, getting the game to move on, but as a story, it does sort of limit the kind of stories you can tell if it ultimately has to be, need to go to this place and get this thing, kind of story structure. But I mean, don't get me wrong, some games have managed to do some interesting things with that plot structure. The Zelda series uses it, but puts in enough other details into their stories that they're always quite interesting anyway. They're almost always. Not like the original The Legend of Zelda, for example. Well, we're gonna get a few scrapes, but, great people always get cut a few times. Or, really, why does just touching the Neanderpacs hurt us? Perhaps they excrete some kind of toxin that only affects those who are not part of the Neanderpac tribe. Or, or not tribe, there are probably many different tribes of Neanderpacs. Or what if these are like some of the only Neanderpacs left? That's sad. No wonder there are so few Neanderpacs left, though, if they evolved to, be, able to, if we can eat them like ghosts. I mean, jeez. Really puts them behind the whole evolutionary game. Why would you even, what what possible chemical reaction could occur in relation to the power pellet that turns things blue and lets us eat them? I mean, I couldn't think of anything. It's just like magic. It must be just magic, right? These are the hard-hitting questions we ask here at Mackerel Films, attempting to understand the complex lore of the Pac-Man universe. Well, first of all, we're gonna eat you. I know that one of your cousins was pulling our bobsled earlier, but you're trying to eat us, so we ate you instead. You know, sometimes the vicious monster eats... It's not a monster, just an amernal. You know, sometimes the vicious monster... You know, sometimes you eat it, and sometimes it eats you, and that's how life works. That's how it goes. That's the circle of life! How are we gonna get there in time? Well, I mean, we might get there in time. We're not gonna get there in time. Let's try again, shall we? Well, we're gonna have to. Anyway, whether or not we really want to, we gotta try again. Hey, thanks. I really appreciate the way you just hit me there. Just JK, I really wish you hadn't done that. And before long, you're gonna really wish you didn't do that either. Or hadn't. And before long, you're gonna wish you hadn't done that either. I really love this music here, too. I think that this sort of music, this kind of area, had a particular influence on me as a kid. It really caught my imagination. It really gives you this picture of, I don't know, just so moody, so mysterious, so evocative caves and darkness and this sort of energetic panpipey music.
Well, let's see how many dots you got this time, Dale. 100% of them. Wow! And not just that, but the gal also got all the fruit scattered throughout the stage. If she gets a high score here too, Dale, I'm gonna have to call this a win-win. A 100%, a triple whammy, a triforce, a holy trinity. And so she did. Another job well done by Ms. Pac-Man.
Really, I'm only at 44%? But it must be because I'm not doing any of the time trials. I should probably show you at least one of the time trials, though. They are difficult. I don't think I ever completed those as a kid. Oh, and here we go. I'm gonna need a few more stars. 4 more, to be specific. So let's revisit some of those earlier levels now that we have the Witch's Key. Why not revisit the first level of them all? The place where first we teleported to when our journey began. I love this opening. I love so much about this game. Like this song. It's a nice touch that we get to pick up the Pac-Dot radar again. Though it seems kind of strange that we do that, but we don't go to see... We can't see the holograms of Professor Pac-Man again. Once again, though, he clearly knew this was going to happen, or else he wouldn't have had all these pre-recorded holograms. What I really want to know is, how did he know that it was Ms. Pac-Man who he was going to be talking to? Like, if he just counted on someone from the Pac family to come help him, you know, I understand that. Don't get me wrong, Ms. Pac-Man has had her adventures too, but why her? Like, why would he just know that it would be her and not Pac-Man? Because Pac-Man is the one who usually has the adventures. I mean, Ms. Pac-Man has a few of them. Mainly it's Pac-Man. Really, the only games starring Ms. Pac-Man are this and the original Ms. Pac-Man. There's really no reason that it couldn't be Pac-Man either. But once again, I'm not complaining. I mean, I like just for the heck of it, you know, having the protagonist be a woman. Even if it's basically irrelevant. In fact, because it's basically irrelevant, there's not really any reason for them not to. I mean, there's no reason for it to not be Ms. Pac-Man any more than there's a reason for it to not be Pac-Man. I guess this is the last power pellet here. We'll make these ghosts sorry. Hey. Come back here. No survivors, no redemption, no escape. It's rather sad, really, that our history of hatred, of the race war between the ghosts and the Pacs, goes back so far. We have all of these carvings portraying ghosts in various states of terror. Although, who knows? I mean, we can clearly see that the Pacs were some kind of ruling caste. Just look how they're dressed in the illustrations on the walls. And again, the ghosts must be too. They're wearing crowns. Although, what am I doing? I'm extrapolating culture from our own Earth into Pac world. Surely the Cleopatrans, although they may have borne some external resemblance to the ancient Egyptians here on Earth, had a very distinct culture. The odds of two cultures developing so similarly on these alien worlds is just about impossible. It's so colorful. And you have the nice touch of the mud here, so you know that sometimes the river does flow here, even if it's not flowing here right now. Probably because it's the dry season. More scorpions. Scorpions are such a nice touch. Oh, it does make you wonder what exactly the history of this place is. Now, in Pac-Man Adventures in Time, Pac-Man does go back to ancient Egypt. And there, I'm pretty sure it is just called ancient Egypt. But it makes you wonder how that fits into the timeline of this. Like, what's the relationship between Cleopatra and Egypt? I don't know. It could be that there are different cultures developed in the same similar region, although once again, it really makes you think, what are the odds that this Pac world would not only have had an ancient Egypt that was also called Egypt, like ours, and looked so much like a sort of, cartoonish version of so many of its cultural accoutrements. It would look like all of these elements of its culture and aesthetics, and have it actually be called Egypt. I suppose that earlier, we also had the whole, ancient, well, not ancient Chinese, but we had the Chinese writing earlier. So, I guess, if that language could develop exactly the same on Pac World and on Earth, who am I to say what's possible and what isn't then? When I first got the Witch's Key, when I was playing through this as a kid, the magical feeling that gave me, it's almost impossible to describe. Suddenly all these weird, mysterious doors, I could see what was on the other side of them. It really sort of felt like the game opening up. And I especially like that it's not some kind of post-game, but that it's part of the main game. Part of the main experience. It's not like, oh, now that I got the credits and got to what's supposed to be the ending, I should just keep playing it for hours. No, it's in the game itself. It's in the body of the game. It's in the main part of your quest. And I really like that. Let's see what's inside the building. Here they cleverly use a teleport point to be like, oh, you're going inside a building. As you can see, what's in here is a whole bunch of blocks and TNT. It's a pretty complex puzzle too, even though it's in the first, just the first level. Which personally I think is a nice touch. It's nice that they would put something like that here. No, it's not that complex of a puzzle, of course. Pushed it a little too soon. I'll wait till it's down to 2 seconds, how about? I think that would be enough time. Or little enough time, as the case may be. Dang. Well, you can't say I'm not trying. Look at that green goo right there. What do you suppose it is? There's no telling. Perhaps it's, perhaps Mesmerelda based her, recipes for whatever weird stuff she's been cooking up in Haunted Halloween off of the stuff she found here in Cleopatra. It could be. There you go. First of all, we're gonna blow up all this crap. But next of all, we're gonna go up here. We're gonna go this way. There we go. We got our extra life. We're gonna blow up this. The thing about the reset tokens is they also reset all of the deadly, lethal, immediate explosion skull and crossbones blocks. And that's no good. Now how are we gonna do about this? Maybe this is what we're gonna do about it. Let's see if this works. How far over can I push this? Not very far! Oh, I see what we need to do. I see now. It's all fallen into place. Here's what we're gonna do. Here's the plan, okay? Here's the plan. First, we gotta clear all these blocks out of the way. We're gonna use that uppermost TNT block to blow up the remaining obstruction to our path. Fortunately, it is a pretty big time limit on it. I'm glad that Ms. Marilda designed it. Oh, well, whatever. Trial and error. First, you don't succeed, try and try again. Other phrases, like, necessity is the mother of invention. That's a good phrase, too. The problem with some of these adages is that they contradict each other. A stitch in time saves 9, but haste makes waste. And of course, you know, there are plenty of other mysterious points to note, too. Like a penny saved is a penny earned, but, wait, I can't think of one that goes against that. Let's eat the arrow while we're at it. I do like that they're generous with checkpoints. It makes the game a lot less... Oh, no! Okay. This is not what I expected I'd be doing this morning. Okay. You know, this happened to me just a few days ago when I played this last time, and I, forgot about it.
You better run, Miss Pac-Man, for I, giant green centipede, am out on the prowl.
I assume that's what it would sound like based on his, scream.
I say... This beautiful sunny weather is doing wonders for my skin. The vitamin D production is off the charts.
And you see, we did all this just to get to that pair. You see, getting all the pack dots and all the fruit, it's actually important to the plot, because it's only through getting stars that we're able to advance.
Go!
Oh, we did it. I was worried there that we wouldn't be able to eat all of them. This Pac-Man just, chewing down, crunching on their rotting ancient mummy bones in her mouth. I'd say between her teeth, but I don't think she has teeth. I don't think Pacs have teeth. It's good too. It'd be terrifying if they did. Not to say that they aren't still a little terrifying. I tell you, really, when I played this as a kid, my mind was so blown that I was suddenly able to go to these new areas. It was very interesting to me. It was like, whoa, there's so much more to this. The idea that in the first level, you would have something that was this sort of difficult and challenging and different hidden, it was very interesting to me. I never encountered that kind of non-linearity in a video game before, if you can even call it non-linearity. After all, we are still following things in a pretty set order. I hate these visual glitches. I hate them. Not as much as school, though. They want to take all my time from me. That's all. It's like all society is just a conspiracy to steal as much of your time as possible. It just seems so ridiculous to me. We're expected to basically sacrifice hundreds and hundreds of hours of our lives to other people to do things that we don't want that are for their benefit. if even their benefit, in some industries. But this isn't the place for talking about that. This is the place to talk about those super pretty water effects. You see, it just looks so good. You know, well, it doesn't matter how good your graphics are, so to speak, how many pixels. What matters is you have good art direction. Well, I mean, there's a certain point where art direction won't save you if you're like on an Atari or something, but I mean, once you get up to like, maybe like 8-bit, certainly once you're up to 16-bit, though, certainly then. It's like they knew that you normally don't get to see Ms. Pac-Man's cute face, so they wanted to be sure you could see it in these post-level scenes. Although we go back to the default view here. I really do think Namco outdid themselves on this one. The loading screen in this game is similar to that one that's in a Pac-Man World. Except here it's Ms. Pac-Man instead of the original Pac-Man sprite. You know, while we're at it, let's go back to Mummy Dearest and open the ghost door there, shall we? Now, I like to, you know, it's a shame that we lost all the crystals, but what did they even do anyway? Like, what did the Pactrometer do? Maybe we're gonna find out. Maybe Professor Pac lied to protect Ms. Pac-Man. Or to do his best to protect her anyway. Maybe all along he was very well-intentioned, and I've been thinking of him too little. Also, the surface of these pools of water looks kinda like velvet. Man, when I was a kid, I thought Auntie Anne's pretzels were just so good. Is Auntie Anne still around? They're bad for you, of course. Or, you know, they're bad for you if you ate tons of them. But, you know, eating one once every few months, that's fine. As long as you live a healthy lifestyle and, you know, for the most part, you don't go around doing something stupid and unhealthy. As long as you get enough exercise, live a balanced life, have friends and family to fall back on, aren't stressed out all the time every day, eat fruits and vegetables, and nuts and grains. I admit, I should eat more vegetables. Mostly I eat grains. And fish. I eat a lot of fish. Because fish is delish. The fish was delish, and it made quite a dish. So did the ghosts. A health extension. Oh, I remember this one. This gave me some trouble back when I was trying to get through here earlier. You know. First, let's get the apple, though. Ugh. Trust me, the time limit's very good for when we're trying to get up there to those hearts and stuff, but not so good when we're trying to just get to this apple. Come on. That's fine. I can wait 20 seconds. This would have been a good time to tell you an old story, a story of the olden days. Like the time my grandpa knew a redneck who tried to kill some guy. Yep. That was a real good story. Here's what we're gonna do. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. That's not gonna work. This is what we're gonna do. Now, kids at home, I recommend, as a general principle against using TNT as like a platform to walk on. But here you might have no choice. Oh, that's not gonna work either. How about this? We got 20 seconds. Suddenly, it feels like not enough time rather than too much, doesn't it, huh? We gotta do what we gotta do. what we gotta do to survive. See, it was pretty cool. I certainly think so. Yeah, cool. Now to finish the rest of the level. Once again, though, this might just be... As much as I liked this when I was a kid, looking back, I can see that it's sort of a perhaps rather cheap way of making the game longer. Still, though, I think there's definitely more good than bad in this game.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, cool.
When I consider it, I'm still surprised that as far as I, have noticed, I mean, I don't think I have ever seen anyone talk about this game outside of a conversation on a forum on TV tropes I saw once where people were talking about the later Pac-Man video games. And I ended up finding, I remember there was somebody there who was like, you should never play any of them, all of them are terrible. Like every other game other than the original Pac-Man Maze Pac-Man that have Pac-Man's name attached to them are just absolute garbage, etc., etc. I thought that was kind of unbelievable. I mean, I don't know, maybe it was like a troll or something, but it really isn't. Like, I understand maybe you don't like Pac-Man World, but it's not terrible. It's a perfectly good platformer, and I think better than a lot of the other stuff you have from that era. Even some of the better-known stuff, like Crash Bandicoot. I mean, no offense to any Crash Bandicoot fans. You can like it if you want to, no harm in that. It feels a little artificial to me, though. Crash Bandicoot does. I always thought the sort of aesthetics of it are just horrible looking, and I don't know, it feels very much like, oh, look at all these other companies that have these successful platformers, why don't we make a platformer too? Rather than as coming about through some kind of organic means. Which to some extent is, I think, a problem with, say, Sonic the Hedgehog as well.
Yeah, cool.
You know, I guess if all these entombed people, they had to be buried somewhere, might as well be buried here. It's very pretty. Filled with cooling pools of water. It's a nice, it's kind of a realistic touch, the pools of water. Like in, ancient Rome, for example, the houses of some very wealthy people would have a pool of water in the atrium. The water served as a kind of, air conditioning. It could help cool the house. No! Now, if only it was near the TNT, it might die. Or, again, it's already a little dead, if you haven't noticed. Suppose this place was so pretty that these dead folks in these caskets decided to get up and walk around again, take a look at it. Oh no! No, 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 no! No, we lost him. Or he lost us, I guess I should say. Oh, crap. Yeah, well. Can't win them all. The fish are a nice touch. They look kind of odd, though. They look like they're flying fish or something. I forget what flying fish look like. It's been a while since I saw a picture of a flying fish at all, really. I know that some people eat, like, flying fish roe. Never tried that. I expect it's one of the bigger kinds of roe. Like, salmon roe, it's not very big. But there's some species kind of roe, like cod roe. Those eggs are big. People also eat cod sperm. I forget what they call it, though. It's interesting to note that on the main menu, Ms. Pac-Man's model is not the same as her in-game model. Indeed, it bears more resemblance to the version of her shown on the box art and what have you.
Well done.
It feels kind of hollow when you already had the star, doesn't it? It's like redoing a level in Super Mario 64 just to get a star you already got. It's the same. It doesn't give you nearly the same sense of achievement. Just keep on going! 38 stars, huh? Suppose I'm at 39 now. Still gonna need another one. Well, there are plenty of places where I can get it. Plenty of those. Next, I think it may be good to go get all the stars in Freezer Burn. Except the time trial star. I don't expect to get that one. Although now that I look at it, if I'm reading this right, we'd get another gold star if we got 30,000 points, right? Well, maybe we will. Maybe we will. Nature is just really, really cruel all the time. That's how it works. Cruelty is the essential aspect of being. Not really. I agree with Heraclitus that the essential aspect of being is change. Everything is always changing. Remember there's a passage somewhere in maybe the Lotus Sutra, I think? Where they get talking about this idea that although things might appear to be in a constant state, they're not, and everything is always changing in such a way that that every moment, that like there is no solid thing, that everything is in a constant state of flux. Ms. Pac-Man agrees. It was something like that, only way better sounding. For the most part, though, I think the Lotus Sutra is completely incomprehensible, almost gibberish. At least translations of it I've tried to read. But I got that out of it, at least. No offense to all of you practicing Mahayana Buddhists out there. Amitabha Butsu. See, I said that very heartfully. It means I'm gonna go to paradise. According to, what is it, Pure Land Buddhism that believes that saying Amitabha Butsu is what you need to do to get to be reincarnated into paradise? I think it is Pure Land. Certainly not Chan Buddhism, or Zen if you prefer. Not that I'm an expert on Buddhism or anything. I often think it's interesting, though. Pretty interesting. Also, like most religions, it takes an extraordinarily cynical view of the world. Like, that living is nothing but suffering, and so the only thing you should want is to stop living forever so that you don't have to suffer anymore. Of course, most of the religions, or the major religions anyway, do view the world as like a state of misery that you're in, and that you have to turn to religion to find some way of just making the pain stop. Alright, before we go through the ghost door, or the witch's door, we're going to get all the pack dots that are available in the crater of this little volcano here, in the caldera. Oh god, I shouldn't have said caldera. I'm having like PTSD flashbacks my earlier Pac-Man days. Clyde and the caldera, everyone. What were they thinking? I don't think I ever actually, I 100% cleared Pac-Man World 2, but I admit, I never actually did Clyde and the Caldera. I believe it was either my father or now my brother-in-law who played through it for me. The rest of that game, though, all the rest of it was me. Well, who, cleared it 100%. I didn't make it. Ah yes, this special area here. Now this area is interesting because, the power pellets, as you can see, and along with the fruit we need to get, are down there. So they're sort of hidden away from us. It's hard to get to them. You may also notice that we have a sort of time limit. Like, if we're too slow and let the ice blocks be, totally melted, then we're not going to be able to get back across. Which I think is just a bit interesting. Certainly makes it feel, ups the risk. Wait, what the? Oh, it must have fallen out the ground that was there. Oh! Must have fallen out, where the ground was there. Oh, we missed a fruit somewhere along the line. Don't worry, folks. I got everything covered, and I'll take care of it. We're gonna maximize those numbers of stars we get. You hear me? We're gonna maximize the number of stars. I'll have them seeing stars by the time I'm done with them, Dale. Chip and Dale. Guess I'm Chip. I never was into that stuff. There we go. I appreciate your praise, Professor. I really do. Although, maybe. There is something off about you. That much is for sure. Oh, by the way, if you're wondering how the level connects together, that's how. It's strange that the Neanderpacks, though, would put up these doors here like this. I wouldn't think they'd be the types to, keep things under lock and key. That's a more, sedentary civilization than their, rather tribal one. Not that you can't have, tribes that are, stay connected to their lands and farm them and everything else. Not that you have to farm your land to be connected to it either. And of course, there are many nomadic cultures where the people very much are connected to the land. However, and they certainly use it too. They certainly are using the land. It's not like it's going to waste because they don't till it. They're just using it in a different way. In a way that really isn't particularly, harder to maintain either than farms. In fact, we find hunter-gatherer societies sometimes that received better nutrition at less labor by not being farmers. But usually once agriculturalists are introduced, they stay agriculturalists. Of course, sometimes it's due to a conscious effort to completely destroy the culture that was there before. For example, the Soviets and some of the nomadic peoples of Central Asia. Miss Pac-Man's a real trooper. Real hard worker, ain't she? That's right, Dale. What am I even talking about? I don't know. Maybe I'm losing my mind. Or, not. It's also a possibility. I don't know, something about this part makes me want to risk being as fast as possible, even though I might misstep and die. Falling right into the lava. That's a rough way to go. Can you imagine? I guess it'd be over pretty quickly, but wow. That's not a way you want to go. Well, all these video games, all life and death conflict, every one of them. I love how enthusiastic she is. That kind of enthusiasm is contagious. Not that it's always good for things to be contagious. For example, flu viruses. But I'm fine with some things being contagious. It's interesting that we teleport to this new area just to get the gem of virtue. It's also interesting that the crystals light up. I wonder how a crystal could be luminescent that way. I've heard of bioluminescence, but I don't know about... Well, maybe there's a pool of lava beneath them or something. Although that kind of light would be rather weak, I'd think. Not like these beautiful spotlights that are shining on our heroine. Or heroine, if that's how you pronounce it. I don't like pronouncing it that way, because then it sounds like you're talking about heroin. Darn, we didn't quite get up to 300,000. Or 30,000, I mean 30,000. I do like the menu. In this game, even the menus are bursting with a bit of personality. At least a bit. Alright. Suppose next we'll go back to, we'll return to Year of the Pack. Or wait, we have enough stars, actually. There might be no need. Out to launch.
We're the ones who are going to be launching into this place.
Into Pac-Ping Harbor once again. I wonder why I never ended up finishing this. Because I really liked this game, and I'm sure I could have if I really just stuck to it and was like, I'm gonna finish this, but I didn't, for whatever reason. I didn't. Though I still have some idea of how it ends. Don't worry, we'll get to that in due time. Everything will fall into its appropriate place. You see, I like, it's a nice touch that she enters this area from that street there as if she walked here. Which once again, clearly means that people live here. And I keep hitting this point over and over again. That's just because it's so ridiculous. This place is obviously inhabited. Just look at it. Look at all the shipping crates, look at all the houses, look at all the freshly, nicely, newly lit lanterns everywhere. You want me to believe that no one's been here for hundreds of years? I mean, this is a harbor. There's international trade going here. Huge amounts of international trade. Who are they trading with if no one's been here in hundreds of years? You know, Professor Pac said that Mesmerelda thought we were stupid, but I'm thinking that it's he who thinks we're stupid if we're gonna fall for all this. It's like he's trying to divert suspicion from himself. Oh, pack dots. Not even any monsters around either, just a whole bunch of pack dots. Delicious. Filling, nutritious meal. You know, they kind of look like those ones cereal. What are they called? Kicks? That's what they look like, that breakfast cereal. Kicks. Now, personally, I don't know, I ate Kicks sometimes when I was a kid. I don't remember them as being, like, super great or anything, but they were fine. Anyway, you know, I'm glad Professor Pac-Man gave us the Pac-Dot radar. And I definitely understand why he did, given that he apparently needs us to get Pac-Dots to be able to teleport stars down to us, as if he's some sort of guardian angel in the sky above, raining down stars upon Ms. Pac-Man. I remember that in Pac-and-Roll, Pac-Man is it's like about Pac-Man's youth. It almost, we might say, is a sort of origin story as to, how he and Ms. Pac-Man got together. In that game, though, she's just Pac-Girl, and her father, I believe, is called Pac-Master, or maybe Master Pac, or something like that. And I've been wondering, when I was a kid, I thought that maybe he was supposed to be Professor Pac-Man, but younger. Yeah! Cool! Radical! Totally rad! And Master Pac had, brown hair, mustache. He definitely could have been a younger Professor Pac-Man. As it is, though, I don't think he is. I think he was just supposed to be somebody separate. These might be dire times. That doesn't mean we can't set off some fireworks and try and find some happiness anyway. Despite the darkness. Also, the irregular shape of that pier we were just on was really nice looking. Look at this charming old Qing-style house with a strawberry in its doorway. Look at the moon reflected in the surface of the water. All these beautiful details. The moon on full. The full moon figures a lot in Chinese poetry and literature. Not that poetry isn't part of the literature, but you know what I mean. It's a nice touch, little insects hovering around the lantern. I believe that customarily, that power pellet is sealed away behind that Manchu-looking box. I believe that customarily there would be the full moon in Chinese poetry is associated with a sort of loneliness and uniting with those who are distant. So the lonely man might look up at the full moon and feel like he isn't alone, because it's the same moon that his distant relatives say are also gazing upon somewhere. It's beautiful. Not that I know that much about Chinese poetry. There's, Li Bai and Du Fu, Wang Wei, other guys, 100 Tong poems and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. That's for sure. Oh, multiple dragons running around. You see, unlike the centipedes, these dragons can overtake us, which makes them a lot more dangerous. This is something I wish I could replicate. My original run, if I remember right, of this area, my run in the previous Let's Play I tried to do, I don't think that I even once got hit by these dragons. Very impressed with that. You also might notice these stalls selling fruits and vegetables and lanterns. They've clearly been freshly put out. Once again, this place isn't abandoned. There's just no way. See, he agrees with me. Whoever he is, maybe Ms. Pac-Man is a bit of schizophrenia and occasionally hears voices that say things like, "Yeah, cool." If you're gonna have schizophrenia, I hope that it's a voice that says, "Yeah, cool," sometimes. And not, say, voices that feel like an evil force and whatever other things. Did I get all the pack dots up there? I think so. Oh, we're not going to be able to destroy these suicide bomber factories. That's no good. Who would even build suicide bomb robots? It just seems very mean. Well, Mesmerelda. Or perhaps whoever live here. Perhaps they have a culture that really puts a lot of honor onto suicides for some reason. Oh, we missed a fruit. Well, I guess I did miss something back there where I was before then. Let's go get that fruit I missed. What was it, the peach? Who is the peach? I'm not gonna let this one go. In Japan, peach is a slang word for vulva. No. No! Don't tell me I have to freaking restart the level. I don't want to do that, man. I don't want to do that. I already went through this level this is at least the second time now. I don't want to do it again. I don't want to do it again. Maybe it's one of those times where for some reason the fruit is just given to us not in the order it goes into the bottom of the screen. I'll at least give it the chance until I get another fruit and I see that it's not. I'll give it that chance. Okay, I'll give it that chance. Nope. We gotta leave the stage. We gotta do it again. Alright. Fine, whatever. What do I care anyway? I hope that didn't, shoot off somewhere and hit some civilian. Not that there's any civilians here, this is a war zone. Of course, the fact that, the circumstances of this war do make it feel a little dirtier, though. Almost like I'm some kind of a terrorist who's running around here in the middle of this important cultural festival. Not that Ms. Pac-Man could know that. After all, Pac-Man has been cut off from the rest of the back world for hundreds of years. So there's no way anyone would know anything about any of its cultures that exist here. No way, sirree. Totally not like Professor Pac-Man has obviously been here before to fill it up with all these spring pads. Or to, say, have all the gems, since he clearly already had them, to build the Pactrometer to begin with. Nothing like that at all. I get all the Pac dots here. Just want to be sure that I did. I did. All of them are gone. Ms. Pac-Man put all of them into her big Pac belly. She really packed them away. Oh man. No regrets. No hesitation. I'm feeling just peachy. Anyway, you know, the music that plays in this level, well, first of all, I really like it. It's very high energy and well, it's nice. But I once saw a YouTube comment under one of the pieces of a soundtrack video for this game that called it super kawaii. The person is clearly confused. Kawaii is Japanese, this is Chinese. Look at this area, it's a Chinese-themed area. Well, admittedly, it is pretty nice, though. Not that I would call it kawaii, but this game predates Moe anyway. I'm pretty sure it does. Oh, another dragon. Or, well, what am I saying? The kawaii-so culture goes back well before Moe. It definitely predates that. I can't wait until someday there's like an academic history of Moe. That'll be a sign that academics are studying our pop culture, which has now become old culture, and people are trying to interpret it, make sense of it, and understand it the way that we understood it. And it'll be a big deal that, you know, you can't understand what people in the past really thought of things, blah, 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 blah. What the? Is there like a door over here we need to get a key to? Oh, there's a Pac dot gate. Okay. Come here! Ha ha ha! Gotcha, matey! Avast! Yarr! Oh, I see. There's a Pac dot gate. Through one of these nice-looking traditional gates, no less. And a locked door. Block. A block door. In any case, it's blocking our path. That's much is certain. Maximize our score. What? We didn't get any points for that one? Why the heck not? I think eating a dragon definitely deserves some points. Now we need to get out of here before we're cornered by ghosts. Well, we got hurt a whole bunch anyway, but that's fine. Because we did get the apple. Ringo Mogure Beam. Oh! No, okay. No. There we go. So, what are we looking for here? I see what we're looking for. Well, I'm gonna push this up here some. This is some very intense action. I mean, one misstep and we're dead. Or not. If you only had one hit point, though, this would be very, very hard. Like really hard. Wow. That's strange. Let's see what happens if we go up here first. Oh, we get the red key. See, we did. They're letting me know that I was right in my assessment of what would happen if we you know what we were doing, which is we got the red key first. That was exactly right. Hey, Ghosty. Hey, buddy, pal. Goodbye. We chomped that one good. It's a normal laugh, just an ordinary laugh. For an ordinary night. These might be dark times, but Ms. Pac-Man can set off some fireworks to make the world a little prettier anyway. the streams of flame reflected in the surface of the black night water. The black night water of these ports filled with crates from all around the world. And all around the wonders of Pac-Land, anyway. Yeah, I was there. I was there when the fireworks went off in Pac-Ping Harbor. I was there to see the Cleopatran Towers being built. I saw Ms. Pac-Man dash into those obelisks and knock them right over, send them tumbling down. You'd think it's a real shame to destroy an old archaeological site like that one. But hey, in time of war, a person does desperate things. I'm not here to decide whether she was right or wrong. That's not my role in all this. I'm only an observer. I might be able to give commentary, but not anything about what should have happened or what shouldn't have happened. You might think that you have a right to say that, but you're wrong. You weren't there. You don't understand what it was like being there. You don't understand what we went through. Back then. Back in those days. Back in the days when the government fell to Mesmerelda. It's interesting the way the power pellet reflected off of Ms. Pac-Man's face in the shadow. You know, if you gave that to like some artist, some graphic designer somewhere, I bet you could make something kind of neat out of it. Kind of neat looking, you know. Hey, Draggy! Good. But you don't get any points for it, though. It's so unfair. Now I just need to get out of here. Perhaps this way. Another star to power the Pactrometer. Also, the opening, why the heck did Professor Pac-Man grab that beaker when he said, "Let me show you the Pactrometer"? Or was he already holding the beaker? So it's like Ms. Pac-Man walked in, Professor Pac-Man was doing something with this beaker, and he's like, "Oh, yeah, let me tell you about the Pactrometer." Well, surely he wouldn't have burned himself, though, if he was already holding the beaker. Like, if the beaker were that hot, he wouldn't have been picking it up. Although I'm sure his gloves, to some extent, insulate his hands, but I don't know, it seems unwise. $55%, huh? Let's see what our percentage is like now. 59. That's pretty good, I think. Pretty good indeed. 50 stars, huh? 6 more. Man, these barriers they're putting up are only getting more and more powerful. What do you say we head back to Haunted Halloween, where all this started and where all this will end? And get a few stars there, huh? Yeah, sure, let's go. Why not? I don't see why not. Oh, man. I think it'd be a good idea. See, this guy likes my jokes. These guillotines, though. You know, I know people think of them as being so barbaric now, but they were invented, like, as a product of the Enlightenment, because they thought that the ways they were executing people were too painful, and they wanted to make it as fast as possible. And I gotta say, your head chopped off, you're not gonna live much longer than that. Although it is thought that, your brain would continue to function for a few seconds after your head was chopped off. Because it hasn't died yet, because there's still some, blood there giving it oxygen. Which is a pretty horrific thought. Anyway, whether or not it was the princess or Mesmerelda who, put the, guillotines here, there's one thing for sure, and that's that, that thing could be in better hands than Mesmerelda's. They put this little space here just to trick us, I guess. Red herring. Oh, laugh it up while you can. Whoever you are that's laughing. Really, whose voice is that? It's not part of the music track. Like, you listen to the music track, you're able to just appreciate the melancholy melody without it being interrupted by, the bell ringing sound, or that creepy, like, ghost children laughing noise. That's definitely the creepiest noise. No, there's another spooky noise, which I'm not even sure what it is. It probably is just listed in the soundtrack as, like, spookynoise.mp3. Or, actually, would they have been using MP3s when this came out? I'm not sure. Maybe I shouldn't be making that kind of assumptions, though. Oh, yeah, they got me. That were the original Ms. Pac-Man. That'd be all over that moment. They're all together! Get them! Get all of them! We could have. If I just, well, to some extent it's luck. There's skill here too, but it's also luck. It's being in the right place at the right time. What horrors are Mesmerelda keep caged up here? Frankly, it's probably those poor Frankenpacks. Those poor things. What she's doing to them is horrible. What if they were people who previously worked for the princess, and after the well, that's another interesting thing about this game, and I may have already remarked on this, but rather than being like, oh, the princess was kidnapped, we don't know what happened to the princess. And it's sort of a background element, too. It's like, there's a lot of other things that are immediately pressing us into action. It's not like Ms. Pac-Man is like, oh no, the princess is kidnapped, I'm gonna go save her. No. Professor Pac-Man, an old family friend, was kidnapped, dragged through a mirror by unknown dark forces, who presumably do have something to do with the princess's disappearance. I mean, certainly they do. We're in the castle where once upon a time the princess lived. But yeah, but what if those Frankenpacks, what if Mesmerelda, say, killed the people the packs who worked here before, and reassembled their bodies to turn them into those monsters, just so she could torture them like this, is weapons of flesh and blood. What am I missing? Did I miss something? While we're at it, let's blow this block up too, and see what we might find there. I think it's a 1-up if I recall. See, look at this fountain. In this context, this fountain is something sad and forlorn. It's a sign of beauty that's been tarnished, when once it was a sign of, of beauty. Oh, how this place has fallen. As you can see, this one is a pretty considerable part of the level that we couldn't have gotten to originally. This is a considerable maze. This is a proper maze. This is some real maze madness right here. I'll tell you what. Oh man, we're gonna do it. What are you laughing about? I beat you, you evil spooky things. That's the thing about the ghosts. They might be ghosts, but they don't seem like the ghosts you'd see in a horror setting, even remotely. So they seem a little out of place, in this setting, don't they?
Hey, well done.
But, I mean, I guess they're just kind of reaching for, spooky, scary things because they're ghosts, and ghosts are spooky and scary. Oh, it's Blinky. Or Clyde, as the case may be. Hey, whoop! On the YouTube channel, Accursed Farms, this strikes me as the sort of thing that, Ross would, cover if only Ross would, do things other than, cover things other than PC games on, the Game Dungeon. Oh, of course you're laughing at this puzzle. Oh, I see. It's one of these. It's not the hit them in the correct order, it's a hit them without, turning any of them off kind of deal. Fair enough. Yeah, I don't need that checkpoint.
Hey, well done.
It's a pretty grisly thing right there, that reminder of, of executions in the past. Oh, or maybe Mesmerelda is preparing to, well, I don't know. Mesmerelda doesn't quite strike me as a takeover Pac-Land kind of villain. She's more of a just be very mean kind of villain. Although she has taken over Pac-Land already. You might notice that right now, my current set of keys and fruits is at the maximum it could be. This is, after all, the seat of government we're in, though. Or it was. So Mesmerelda has, in effect, taken over Pac-Land. Well, not really. Surely her influence hasn't spread to all the other parts of Pac-Land. And also, once again, this can't be one of the wonders that's been sealed off from the rest of Pac-Land. Because this is where the government was. This was the seat of government. This was the capital city that governed the land. It's not like it was severed from the rest of the world by force shields. That's such nonsense. Absolute nonsense. We're over 100 lives now. Wow. Pretty impressive, if I may say so myself. All in only 4 hours, too. I wonder what the world record for the fastest clear time for this game is. I'm not going to achieve it, because I've been going back too often and talking too much. Anyway, we still need a few more stars, and we can get a couple of them from Watch Your Pack. I approve of that pun. But first, let's take a minute to appreciate the music. Oh, it's the dining room again. When you see all these broken plates and overturned candlesticks, you gotta wonder what happened here. What went on at that table? Perhaps whatever these dark forces that took over Pac-Land, that took over the castle, whatever they are, perhaps there was a normal meal going on there. Perhaps the princess was there, and then the ghosts came in and, well, who knows what horrors could have gone on here behind closed doors. It is a nice callback, though, that we get to see all of these artifacts from all 4 of the wonders of Pac-Land. Assuming that we can even trust Professor Pac when he told us that they're wonders of Pac-Land, and he just wasn't making that up, too. And I don't know if we can. I mean, I'm sorry, Professor Pac-Man, but you've just been wrong too many times. Maybe it's just that he's a scatterbrained professor. Those definitely are a real thing. I've had some professors who definitely knew their stuff, but were so bad at expressing it that, I'm not totally sure they could really, or should have been teaching. Oh, hey. Hey, Hellhound. Chomp! It's rather dark that they're called Hellhounds. Pretty sure that is what they're called, though. I checked once on the Pac-Man wiki. Oh! The ghost can turn around in mid-movement. You'd think I would have noticed that by now, but nope, I didn't realize. I'll tell you what, as I said before, in the long term, this investment in their industrial infrastructure is really going to be to the ghosts' overall benefit. Like, the ghosts in the long run, like, the Pacs have already lost the war, because the Pacs remain a pastoral people, rather than investing in, their infrastructure. Well, maybe. I mean, I don't know. Like, Pac-Man World 2 certainly portrays the Pacs in a, is living in a little village, and so on. But then you have a game like Pac-Man 2, where the Pacs are portrayed as, living in a society where there are also a lot of humans, and, they live in a sort of classic, like, 1950s kind of house, you might say, and, in this setting, they, there's a big urban city, and, they're hot, like, Pac-Man buys a hot dog from guys who sell hot dogs, and he walks down these urban settings and stuff. It's really kind of surreal, but perhaps that takes place further along on the Pac-Man timeline. in the Pac-Man chronology, like in that one, Ms. Pac-Man has hair. So maybe eventually she stopped shaving her head and grew out hair after she had got married to Pac-Man and they had their kids. Although this also takes place, well, I mean, maybe this takes place before Ms. Pac-Man met Pac-Man. Which really raises the question, I guess, of why she's called Ms. Pac-Man in this one. But it might make sense, it might work. Anyway, so further down the line, though, as Pac-Man and Ms. Pac-Man got older and, their family grew bigger, perhaps then they ended up, they began Pac-Land began getting more industrialized, and they encouraged immigration of humans, because the humans that lived on distant parts of Pac-World were very proficient in industry, or perhaps rather they came to Pac-Land looking for jobs. In any case, by the time of Pac-Man 2, the humans outnumber the Pacs in Pac-Land. Which, you see this sort of thing happen sometime. Like, during the Soviet period, for example, Kazakhstan ended up being home to more Russians than Kazakhs. Or ethnic Russians, I mean. Of course, even modern Russia is home to many ethnic groups besides just the Russians. What the? Hold on, I want to go in the teleport point. There we go. I think that was a glitch there. I don't think you're supposed to be able to just cross through the teleport point like that. In any case, there's the one Pac dot we missed. It's very sad to see her bringing one of these monsters to life here. Or it's worse than that, because she just, like, left it here. She's not trying to bring it to life. She's just abandoned it. And that's horrible. Where do I go? Oh, there. Look at that. Look at its expression. Look at the agony in those little beady eyes. It's just been left here to suffer, and there's nothing we can do for it. Nothing we can do, perhaps, save kill Mesmerelda. But that is what we'll do. It's what we must do. Or maybe it is. See, that's why that spring pad was right there. Wait, did I get fruit over there too? I think so. I'm pretty sure this is a level where you couldn't get all the Pac dots or all the fruit unless you were able to, unless you had the witch's key. Wah! It's a nice touch the way that you can see the raindrops hitting that pool of water down there. It's very moody. Now, once again, that's something I like about this. It's so much moodier than Pac-Man World. Pac-Man World is always kind of goofy and happy, whereas this one has music like this and environments like this that try to actually feel, somewhat like a real place. Whereas in Pac-Man World, it's very much a sense almost all the time that the levels you're in the midst of are just platforming obstacle courses. I mean, don't get me wrong, they're still better than, say, the levels of Super Mario 3D World, which there's nothing other than the feel, oh, this is some kind of obstacle course. That whole game is like a bunch of technically well-made levels that are also really uninteresting. It feels like you're going through a bunch of obstacle courses rather than exploring an interesting open world like in Super Mario Sunshine or 64. Not that there's anything wrong with that per se, but, well, Nintendo has since then began moving back towards the exploratory Marios, which is all I ask for. They're the best ones. Maybe someday I'll even get a Nintendo Switch and do a Let's Play of Super Mario Odyssey. But that day is not today. Because I don't know. I don't know about the Switch. Maybe you'll see this and it'll be funny that I am not confident about the Switch. But right now I'm not sure about it. Because the time when I'm recording this, the Switch still isn't out. Or maybe it'll be a disaster. I'll look back on me and think, wow, how could you even had any hope? But I don't want to be negative.
Wow, Dale, look at all those pack dots. And did she get all the fruits too? I'll say she did. Ms. Pac-Man is really outdoing herself this time, Dale. And the score just keeps on climbing.
How high can your highest score get? I feel like in the 90s they would have had those commercials where they're like, it's like they're threatening you, like they're challenging you, like, oh, our games cannot be beaten. We will crush you. Don't think you can beat us. Stupid 90s crap, I swear to God. Okay, I can still get a few more stars. Still need a few more. Now is as good a time as any to try and get through a level on time trial. I just want to show you what time trial is like, okay? It's an absolute rush to the end, and I don't think at any time I played this game in my whole life I managed to complete a time trial level. So we have an eyeball, an Ankh, and an upside down Ankh. Those are all of the sacred Cleopatran symbols I was able to make out there just now. You might notice that munching a ghost does get you a few more seconds. However, it's little enough that unless they're immediately in your path, it's absolutely not worth bothering trying to get them. With a big ol' chomp. Oh, I just lost the level because I went up there and I didn't need to. I don't think it's possible to complete this now. They demand perfection from you in time trial mode. Perfection. And normally I feel like I am going through these levels pretty quickly. But, nah, that's not good enough for them. Pretty quickly, not good enough. Perfect. You have to get through these levels just flawlessly. I think at this point, though, I'm doing better than I ever remember doing in this time trial stage ever in my whole life before this. So, I mean, that's something. Heck, I might actually finish it at this rate. This is a pretty short level, isn't it? I think so. Oh no. It's this part. I can make it. Maybe. Maybe, but probably not. Probably can't make it. If I can make it, it'll be so awesome if I finally got through this. Yeah, I'm not. Keep in mind, anytime you take damage from an enemy, you lose 10 seconds. I suppose we'll go back to Year of the Pack, and this time, armed with the ghost key, get all the fruit. Let no one say that Ms. Pac-Man is a quitter. Also, does this mean that in order to complete the game at all, you have to, get, Wait, were there this many pack dots here before? Anyway, so does that mean that to complete the game at all, you have to get all of the pack dots and all the fruit stars? Well, unless you're doing a whole bunch of time trials. But given that those are the worst way, probably, to get stars due to their, extreme difficulty? No. No. Okay. I was worried for a moment there that Pinky had outmaneuvered us. I should have known better. Pinky has never been famous for her, strategizing ability. Anyway, we're here for fruit, not for pack dots, so getting all of those for once doesn't matter. I mean, it's kind of painful for me not to get all of them, and in fact, I am going to get all of them anyway. I suppose this is just because my time is completely worthless to me, and is of no value at all. Or, that's a bit redundant. I mean, if they're completely worthless to me, of course it's of no value at all. How in the heck am I gonna move that block of TNT into a... who cares? Yeah, I'm not getting the pack dots. Not gonna do it. We have, more pressing, more immediate concerns now. Wait a minute. Ah, crap. I am really doing bad. Today's a bad day. I just feel, all day I felt like an absolute, just a complete fool. And I'm continuing that trend. I mean, I was gonna, upload these without any commentary, like a long play kind of thing. Yeah, never mind that. Forget that. I blew my chance to do that long ago. I have made way too many just really dumb mistakes at this point for there to be any chance of that. Come to think of it, oh no, there's the cherries down there. Oh no. Yeah, I am really not gonna. Well, like, why even bother? Well, I'm not gonna bother uploading anything. No long plays. Forget that. You never really respect a long player, until you realize just how difficult it is to run through a game honestly and do it perfectly, which is what you gotta do for a long play. I mean, I don't know how those guys pull it off. Lots of practice, I suppose, although of course many of them use hacks, which is fine. You do what you got to for that kind of thing. You do what you got to. I will get the heart, though. At least somebody loves me. Oh, but then I got hurt again. Well, it's because the camera should follow you along a little more quickly when you're transitioning into areas like that one. Oh, I remember that. No, that's not the first one of those we encountered. Not at all. This is terrible. You wanna know something? I'm gonna let you know on a secret, okay? Everything is horrible. If more people would understand this, imagine how much better the world would be. People would quit fighting. They'd be like, well, it's a good point. Everything is terrible. Why even bother fighting when it's all gonna be terrible anyway? We should at least try to help each other because everything is so terrible. Man, that's a beautiful story. It really brings a tear to my eye. I hate these suicide bomb robots. There's so much negativity in the air that you can just taste it. At least we got the frickin' fruit. Putting our lives on the line just to get a bit of food. That's gonna be happening soon enough, There won't be enough food. Not because it's impossible to produce enough food, but just because people will not be producing enough food because people are stubborn and want to stick to their old illogical ways that don't work. And people don't want to continue eating too much meat and all these other things. It is not sustainable. The whole world as it is now, just not sustainable. It makes you wonder what's going to happen next. And I don't know what's going to happen next. Why would I? What do you think, I'm some kind of psychic? You think psychics are real? That's silly. Psychics are real, at least. No one ever found any evidence of them. Just about every, noted, psychic has been demonstrated pretty clearly to be a fraud. And I don't expect that, and I really don't expect that to change anytime soon. Oh well. At least here we can take out our anger on the establishment by eating the dragon. And for once, we got points for eating the dragon. Thank Gorsh. I mean, I don't know about you, but I worship a deity called Gorsh. He's pretty good. He's a cool guy. He's cool beans. He's kosher. That's apparently a thing people say, is it's kosher. I never knew that, and I thought it was very strange when a guy I knew just began, making remarks like, "Oh, man, yeah, it sounds kosher. It's kosher." This is a slang thing, apparently. Unlike cancer, which the sort of slangy way it's being used nowadays, I think is just perfect. It's a brilliant use of the language. I don't really think that using kosher in this way is really doing anyone any favors. This seems sort of awkward to me. I was so confused why I kept calling things kosher, but it turns out As it turns out, he is not Jewish, though. It wasn't because a rabbi had blessed the things he said were kosher. I would be rather surprised if a rabbi would bless things like watching anime, for example. Not because they don't deserve it, but because it just doesn't seem like a very Jewish kind of thing. It seems kind of like a Japanese kind of thing. Wait a minute, what am I doing trying to get points? I'm here for the fruit. This is just a terrible day, and everything is terrible. Let's just go get through the door. Oh wow, I got 3 in one go. Never mind, something good happened. Okay. Well, first things first, we're gonna blow that one up. We're gonna blow up this block. I guess I have to give it a sec. Give him a few seconds specifically. I say specifically, but I really don't know how many seconds exactly. I didn't count. Next, we're going to blow up this block. It's a block in our way, impeding our progress. Well, I mean, it is, but that's not a pun. Oh, anyway, there's the fruit. I might as well get the health upgrade, though, you know, while I'm here. But there's even more fruit! This level is just... Man, I guess Year of the Pack is when they begin, you know, taking all their fresh fruit harvests. Oh boy, this is gonna be one of these times, isn't it? The answer, by the way, is yes, it is. Oh, come on! Come on! Oh, well, maybe there'll be a chain of explosions. No. No, there wasn't. There really wasn't. Go, go, go! So their explosions can trigger the frickin' blocks, but they don't count as explosions for their stupid... Swear to God. Okay, fine. Well, whatever. Whatever. This is the last thing I needed right now. Is this stupid waste of time nonsense? Kids, don't play with bombs. In general, you know, it's a good rule. It's a good rule to abide by. You hear me? A good one. Oh, you can't push them into the... Oh. Whatever. Maybe one of those stupid suicide bomb robots is gonna go blow it up. But of course not. Why would they want to make things easier for old Ms. Pac-Man, huh? Or for old Mackerel phones, too, for that matter. Yeah, I was better off going the way I went last time. But whatever, it's fine. So it's fine, you know. It's fine, I can deal with this sort of challenge. Ms. Pac-Man just had her face shoved right into this gate. Or I guess it must be a window on the side of the gate. That's why we can see her beautiful, Packy face. Okay, hey. There we go. Okay, go. Yes! Yeah! Okay. There. It's not all miserable defeats. There's a handful of successes along the way. Anyway, now that's been done, let's go get that health upgrade. No, whoa, that was close. Maybe I should go activate a checkpoint first. Nah, what's the worst that could happen? Nothing. Not once we blow up those guys. Once we do that, I'm really not worried at all. Although I'd be a little concerned at the, you know, since we're on a pier, that these bombs are gonna like blow up the boards and then we'll fall into the water. And I don't know if Ms. Pac-Man can swim or not. Now, Pac-Man, he certainly can. He's one athletic man. He's even one athletic, Pac-Man. It is kind of weird that his name is Pac-Man, and he's one of the Pac people. I mean, that'd be like if your name was Human Man. Or Human Woman, if you're a woman. I'm sorry. I was using your, not in the sense of you, specifically. my dear, dear viewer, but rather, you know, in the sense of one. Like, it'd be as if one went by human man. Or woman, human, well, or I guess Ms. Pac-Man is Ms. Human Woman. It's weird. In any case, I very much admire her for choosing to be Ms. instead of Mrs. Oh, I do need pack dots. Now look, there's nothing wrong with being called Mrs., but I just think it's really ridiculous that the woman has to give up her family name. Like, why the heck would you do that? I understand it does make it more complicated to, you know, what is the kid's last name, but I don't know. I don't really know what the solution is. There's no way to do it that's fair. Because both the man and the woman are, of course, essential to the production of children. Among us humans, that is, because, you know, we reproduce sexually. There are some animals that reproduce asexually, and just kind of make little clones of themselves. It's pretty neat stuff. Seeing them just tear into two ones, and it's now a whole group of animals that are separate animals. It's pretty neat. It'd be a pretty good parlor trick if you could do that. If you could just rip your arm off and it would grow into a new you. And that time I did mean you in the sense of the you specifically. Oh, it's this. Oh, it's this part. Oh! Come on, man! He's putting, look at all the gunpowder he put down, and not the one where we... Look, as much as I like this game, I'm not blind. I understand that there's a lot of problems. It's not perfect. By a lot of problems, mainly, I just mean this part, the worst part in the whole game. Let's just go over here. Maybe we'll jog around this maze for a little while, while the gunpowder sifts away through the cracks of the boards like so many grains of gunpowder sand. Of really, really volatile sand. Oh, there is another power pellet. At least we can exact a small bit of vengeance on the world that did this to us. Also, have you noticed how the red ghosts all have that angry face? I have. I wonder what they're angry about. Maybe the rampant injustices of the world. Hey, guy. Come on over, come on. There we go! Oh, yeah! Hey, appreciate it. But I mean, you weren't trying to kill me, even though you helped me. Your intention was to kill me, so I'm not that grateful. Oh, it's this part! This part really tripped me up even the first time, and I still don't really know what I'm supposed to do here. Ah, well, fine. Oh! Fine.
Hey, well done.
Well, Ms. Pac-Man appreciates it anyway. Let's take out these ghosts, shall we? At least one of them. At least one! Okay, here's the first switch. And it'll open the path to this switch. Oh, I should have moved some more blocks of bombs. Oh, well, that's fine. I'll just be haunted by that decision for the rest of my days. I am in a bit of a daze. There you go. Is that the one we needed to open? Well, it gets us the fruit at least. Ha. See, at least Professor Pac appreciates us, even if he is a dirty, dirty liar. Now, what exactly switch do we need to activate? It's one of these switches that are like back up in here, I think. Oh, crap. Okay. No, as for which one, I'm not really entirely sure. Well, we activated it, whichever one it was. Man, I just get one extra life after another, even as glum as I am. And the audience still loves me. Maybe maybe there's some reason for old Mackerel phones to keep going after all. Man, this has become so grueling. And we haven't even gotten to the final boss yet. We did all that just for a single star, too. Just a single one. And we still need more. Well, life is a struggle. Even a struggle for someone as well off as this overprivileged dude. So, well, there's our final star for you. Pack, crackle, pop. Now, something I find a little odd is that for all the things that Professor Pac takes the time to explain to us, even things as obvious as the magic carpet, he never, ever took the time to explain these skull and crossbones blocks. And unlike these other things, the skull and crossbone blocks are really dangerous and not immediately obvious. Like, you don't know for sure what they're gonna do. But Professor Pac? Nah, he just figures, who even cares? Who even cares? I'm sure that Ms. Pac-Man will figure it out because she's so bright. That's the thing, though. He obviously doesn't think she's bright based on some of the obvious stuff he has told her. Now, it could just be a case of his impaired judgment of his status as a scatterbrained, nutty professor. Or it could be a sign of something darker. But in spite of everything else, he does want our mission to succeed. He really is out to stop Mesmerelda. That much is pretty much, unambiguous. There's no doubt about that aspect of his character. Whatever you want to say about all the other stuff, he's Mesmerelda's enemy. Hey, come on. Leave There we go, he did! He left the gunpowder. It almost sounds like the dragon is sort of sneezing when he didn't leave a solid trail. Look at this much gunpowder. Just light a match and this entire harbor is gonna go sky high. Thank you. I see this is much easier to dodge than those things down there. Those suicide bomb robots. Man, I just got so many things in rapid succession. Also, is that haha cool? Is that Miss Pac-Man who's speaking? Because it really, to me, just sounds like a sort of nerdy guy saying, yeah, cool. Not like a woman. But I mean, maybe it is. There are all sorts of voices in the world. You don't want to limit, your perception of people. Like, oh, everyone in the group must have this kind of voice. So maybe that's what Ms. Pac-Man sounds like. Or maybe not, I don't really know. I don't know Ms. Pac-Man. I mean, I've heard she's nice, but, I've been meaning to, talk to her more. I wanted to go out to lunch with Ms. Pac-Man, but I haven't managed to do it yet. I just never quite worked up the nerve, you don't talk to people, and you're like, man, I really wish I had talked to that person. You kind of regret that you didn't talk to them. That's what's happening here. What's another one of these moments? Oh. Yeah, but it didn't give me any trouble this time. Man, look at all the delicious fruits in that stand. Why doesn't Ms. Pac-Man just take some of those? Look at those bananas, they look delicious. Oh. We gotta take them down. Ah, well. There'll be no loss to the world. Man, Ms. Pac-Man has had some really good luck setting off bombs aboard boats so far. Let's see if her luck keeps up. I mean, it did there, but you never know. Maybe the next one will finally cause the boat to sink. I really think it is. I don't think we ever get to just eat one of the dragons. Imagine Ms. Pac-Man slurping that whole dragon down like a big old noodle of spaghetti. You know, that's something I've noticed in video games, is oftentimes you get switches who are just really impractical. Like, who in the heck would put the switch on the floor as a panel like that? And you have to walk over it? I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. Whose design idea was that? Oh, we got blown up a little bit, but not too much. Just slightly. He's got slightly blown up. Oh well, munching these guys is still a good time. Although, forget it. They're too good at avoiding me, it's not worth it. Because we have to go save Professor Pac, and now that we're this close to the end, I see no reason that we should be waiting around, trying to get him, waiting for him to get his legs chopped off, or whatever other grisly thing Mesmerelda might have in mind for our old friend. Another level down. Just 2 more to go. And it all ends. This madness will finally come to a resolution. We will be redeemed. We will redeem the world. And for all his lies, even the Professor too shall we save. For he lied with good intentions. That's a wrap, everyone. That's a wrap. And of course, we're immediately given another picture of the horrible treatment that Mesmerelda forces upon these poor creatures she's built. Listen to their agonized screams. They're the most vulnerable among us, and they're the ones who Mesmerelda has condemned to this. She made them the way they are, and now makes them suffer for it. Hey. Oh well. Come on! Well, I just lost my chance to do anything. Let's get out of it. Oh, where's the chairs? Oh, and I got, well, forget it. I never said I was gonna be good at this. I've been doing pretty good at first. Now, it's finally starting to not do so good, okay? You want to know something? That's not a crime. It's not a crime, okay? When the heck are we gonna get through one of these doors? Oh, wait a minute, I get it. Do they only open when the electricity yeah, they only open when electricity goes by them. Wow, that is tough. This is the only level I didn't get to in my, sort of a little playthrough I just did of it. Only this one. All the other ones I got through. So as for what exactly there is to expect in this level, it could be anything. I really don't know. So we're gonna have to get around here somehow. Well, to do that, we need to go... Well... Oh, over here. Oh, we're gonna get electrocuted, but, that's fine. You know, we all make mistakes. Man, look, it's a delicious, delicious strawberry. Strawberry! Oh, listen to his scream. He can't even understand what's happening to him. Oh. Uh-oh. Oh. Oh. They're insulators. They stop the electrical beams without being damaged by them. Nicely done, Professor. I mean, if they want to put him here. And if he did get this deep into Haunted Halloween, no wonder Mesmerelda had it out for the guy. The real wonder is that someone as ruthless as her wouldn't have gotten to him sooner. what seems kind of odd is that his kidnapping almost seemed like an accident, like it was incidental. You know, like, it just happened to be that the spell conjured up the image of haunted Halloween in the mirror. And then the ghosts there are like, oh no, you don't. What do you think you're doing? Seems to me like something like that's what happened. I'll save that power pellet. You never know when you're gonna need a good power pellet after all. Spring! Nah, I didn't think it'd work. Well, fortunately, you have the blue key. So first, we're gonna blow this up. Unfortunately, I cannot blow up that hideous visual glitch that's making me want to cry because it's all terrible. But we don't have to look at that anymore anyway, so it all works out. Now that was not Ms. Pac-Man. No, I guess there's not gonna be any more monsters here. Here in this area, this whole place is crawling with monsters. Now there's something weird going on with Professor Pac-Man. There's something weird without that fella. Oh, no, don't worry, we're gonna get him. You see, they managed to take the basic maze layout and make it into something that's this sort of, visually appealing. Now, there is one thing that I suppose is kind of questionable about all this, about the idea of a maze. Is this really isn't a maze at all? Like, you can clearly see where you're going. And isn't the point of a maze that you are, like, lost in a maze and you need to get to the end of it? Hey! Nice try. Hey. So, you guys, cutting me off from that heart that I just earned. No, you aren't. Rather, I'm going to eat you and cut you off from every part of you but your eyes. Also, I do want to get this heart, though. It's why do the hearts gotta run? They don't even have legs! How do you run like that without any legs? It just doesn't make sense. Oh, I missed the poison. Oh, well. It's a net gain of health from all three hearts, even if I lost a little bit with that one. Okay. What are we even trying to do here? See, I told you it was going to get complex after a while. Oh, there we go. Sure. Let's go blow the heck out of this death block. And maybe eat that poor tortured soul while we're at it. Oh. Okay. Yeah, I probably should have eaten the ghost. Well, too late. It's too late for that now, isn't it? At least we took out the one that was suffering. Oh wait, what was even the point of that? Nothing. It was useless. I will, however, eat the apple. No time limit on that one. Once again, I should have saved the power pellet. Especially since the ghost can just float over these ledges with different elevations. Come on. I brought this on myself, I must admit. For all her toughness, for all her moxie, there's only so much Ms. Pac-Man can do if she doesn't have a power pellet. Now, Pac-Man, he might just fight with his fists like he does in Pac-Man World 3. But, Ms. Pac-Man apparently doesn't do that. He's still chasing us. Wait a minute. Oh, we're back here again. Interesting. Or wait, no, we're not. We were never here before at all, were we? What am I even talking about? Yeah, this isn't a place we've hung out before. A very maze-like level, wow. Oh, there's like a treadmill up there. Good. Not really, it's bad. Well, what can we push this into? Anything? No, nothing. What does this button do? And if we do get up there, we can turn that lever, alright. Okay, I see what we need to do. Oh, it just permanently keeps it down? That's all it does? It doesn't even do that. What did it do? Did it reverse the direction of that treadmill? And if so, why would I want to do that? Anyway, let's just push this here and go up there then, shall we? Of course we shall. Now, I have a feeling it looks like I'm... Oh no, now it's going in the direction I would want it to go. But I can't cross this part. Oh. This is gonna require some serious speed. High speed and careful planning. Okay. I'll do my best. I'll try my darned... Oh. I took too long anyway. Never would have made that. Never, ever would have made that. So what the heck can I do here? I see no alternative to what I did before. None. Could I somehow wait longer before I move this block? Or... 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah, there's no way. There's just no way I could make that. What am I missing here? Is there some way I could shorten the time by running up? No. Wait a minute. Okay, here's something that might work. You gotta look at these things from new perspectives. Sometimes. You know, on occasion. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There we go! Okay. Don't try to resist it, Ms. Pac-Man. It's good in this case that we're going in that direction. That's the direction we want to take. Get the pear. We have to do that again. Worth it. Pears are delicious. What the... Oh, there we go. For a moment I was afraid that I got stuck. That would have been a bad thing. But luckily, it didn't occur. It did not happen or transpire. It neither came to pass, nor, you get the point. Oh no, I'm gonna lose all my health now. And then I'll have to do it all again! Oh, crap. Well, fine. This music, it sounds like a desperate struggle. That's our struggle, is what a desperate struggle here is. Oh. Oh. and rewarded with the worst visual glitches we've had in the entire game. These are the worst. Did you see that? This is terrible. Mesmerelda's magic must be interfering with the game code. That's all I can say. I can also actually say a lot of other things. For example, Havarti. But now isn't the time for cheese. Now's the time for answers. We're finally gonna get some answers. Just what's Professor Pac playing at? What the heck is the Pactrometer for? Because it's obviously not for what he said it was for. Who is Mesmerelda? What does she want? Where's the princess? Why is the plot of this game falling apart at the seams, if it wasn't all part of Professor Pac's plan? Oh, dodged one only for the other to get me. See, that narrator agrees with my assessment of the situation. Oh no. Oh! You see, how was I supposed to know which direction that was coming from? Anyway, fortunately, I think the vampire already died because of the thunderbolts. This vampire's old, weakness, right? Electricity? Pretty sure that's what it is in the old myths. First, we'll need a green key. Oh, come on. It's bringing us right into trouble. Now we got the green key. Oh, that was close. No rightness, Pac-Man. You've risked life and limb so far. You've risked life and limb many times, in fact. But I think it's about time to end all this. Not by opening that door. There's still a lot of other stuff that needs to happen. Oh, hellhounds. Hi. These pack dot arrangements are getting more and more atypical. I mean, you know, relative to the original game. The original Ms. Pac-Man, I mean. What is this gonna do? Oh, probably something good. Ow! God, why'd you do that? Ugh. Pretty near the end now, pretty near. No! Gotta not let it get away! And we didn't. Okay, so we're gonna have to move these blocks over here. Is that the idea? Yeah, it is. That's the idea. Now we're gonna get to that one, though. I really have no idea. Oh, where are the ghosts? Well, in any case, I'm glad they're not coming back. Something over here? No. Well, I've come this far. Oh, there, I see. I need a certain number of pack dots to get up there. Get the banana and the health upgrade. I imagine the health upgrade might save our life in the final stage. Yeah, what can I even do with that? Nothing. Oh, I see what I need to do. Okay. You're getting pretty ruthless, game. I'm not gonna lie. Well, Mesmerelda's getting desperate is what it is. That's what's going on here. And if I hadn't gotten that hellhound out of the way, woo boy, we would be in all kinds of trouble. Really though, this music does sound, it really does to me make it sound like something a lot more serious is going on than this game is really probably capable of, tonally. Thank you, Professor Pac, but don't get ahead of yourself. We still have work to do here. Mesmerelda waits. And after all these years, I'll finally see the ending. After all these years. Truthfully, though, I do know what the ending is. I think I do. I'm not gonna spoil it for you. Nor am I going to complete all time travels. That's crazy. If you want to complete this game 100%, go knock yourself out. I think it's very good, though, that they have that kind of challenge in there if you want it, but that you don't have to overcome that challenge. Mesmerelda. It's time to get answers.
How foolish of you to return. Once I have my witch key back, I will control everything.
It would seem that once again we might have played right into her hands. Bringing her key back here. Maybe we really shouldn't have done that. Oh well, there's no going back now. We're here, in the midst of this true maze madness. I really wish there were checkpoints. Almost got us that time. Almost, but not quite. Jeez. That spring pad! That spring pad! I think you're understanding now why I never beat this game as a kid. Thank you, Professor Pac-Man. Man, I can feel my heart beating.
Get Mesmerelda to fire her spells at the tower.
Oh. Hey, Mesmerelda, I see you've gotten a bit taller, haven't you? Oh. What did Professor Pac just say? Well, first things first, I guess I'll activate these machines I guess he put up here. I guess he put them up here. Professor Pac-Man, I have no idea what they'll do. Wait, they made fireworks noises. That's why she was interested in Pac-Ping, isn't it? Come on, Mesmerelda. Oh, I have to get her to hit all of them with that spell, don't I? As for what it'll do, I really don't know. It's anyone's guess. Oh. Oh. Okay. Professor Pac-Man, I know I've been putting a lot of doubt into your words, but I'm really depending on you right now. And I really hope you're right. Well, he is. He has as much stake in taking out Mesmerelda as anyone, after all. This is the last one. What the? A green orb? What's that for? Oh, there's another green orb. So we need to get all of them activated, is that it? And then we'll zap her. I like the sound of that. I normally prefer the path of non-violence, but it is true that sometimes you don't have much choice. I gotta say, Mesmerelda, these are some impressive pyrotechnics you've been mustering here. Very impressive. Oh, I didn't get out of the way of that one in time, now did I? Not at all. I really hope this works. That's all of them. Mesmerelda. Goodbye, Mesmerelda.
Esmeralda is no more! You saved us all!
I'm sorry. I never meant to hurt anyone, but I was under the spell of an evil witch. You broke the spell and saved me. Thank you.
Thanks to Ms. Pac-Man, the princess has been found, and the lost worlds are saved! Well done!
And there's your twist. I have to say, it is pretty shocking to have the princess be the villain. Although this does raise a lot of questions. So the princess was under the curse of an evil witch. Who was the witch? The witch in the story was her. And she did some nasty stuff. But whose curse is she under? Did the ghost gang put her under that curse? Couldn't be, it says it was a witch. The only thing I can guess it would be the ghost witch of Nestor from Pac-Man's days on the SNES. So this really marks the ghost witch's final evil plan. And it is by far, if I may say so, her most sinister. But we're not quite done yet. We've got the credits to watch. Over oddly melancholic music, if I remember right. Yep, oddly melancholic music. And that, everyone, was Ms. Pac-Man Maze Madness. Was this game produced by Americans or British people or Canadians or any of the English-speaking countries? I don't know. Could be. I should probably look into this. Well, in any case, everybody, that was Ms. Pac-Man Maze Madness. One of my favorite games from my youth. And Mesmerelda may have been stopped, but, well, whatever this bigger picture going on here, whatever evil witch cast this spell, I don't know. I suppose that she's escaped, and is still out there somewhere. She escaped right through a plot hole. And so it's all over, everyone. The madness. The madness. The madness of mazes. This is Mackerel Phone signing out.